Welcome back to the Work of Wellbeing podcast. I'm Amy Green, your host from The Wellness Strategy, and we're here to talk about all things personal and professional wellbeing. This podcast is designed to help you become curious and consider your everyday wellbeing strategies, what you do for your own wellness, and how you can start to transform your life both in and out of the workplace. Sit back, grab a cup of tea, maybe grab a notepad, a journal, and get ready to feel really enlightened about what wellbeing used to be, what it is now, and where you can take your own wellness strategy. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Work of Wellbeing podcast. I'm Amy, you know that from the intro. This episode is all about swim today, and I don't normally do marketing podcasts or, talk about a product or an offer. Sometimes they're a little bit gross, to be honest, but I really want to share this with you. We have been running this in the background across 2025 and it's going really, really well, but I want to make this even bigger and better, and I want to make sure you have all the information you need if this is something you're considering for 2026. Now, Swim is our staff wellbeing and improvement membership, and it has come out of all of the work I've been doing over the past few years that has really been focusing on how do we turn schools into great workplaces, how do we elevate staff wellbeing, and how do we build capacity of both personal and collective responsibility and an understanding of everyday and workplace wellbeing. As you can imagine, there's lots in it. I've run hundreds of PD days. I've coached thousands of people and leaders and staff and educators across the country. I've delivered keynotes. I've done a whole bunch of stuff, really. And it's great. I love the work that I do. But there is something I think missing, and it's the embedded, the ongoing, the continuous touch points of really doing this work. And it's hard to do when I'm not in your school all of the time, or when you're waiting for me to show up and deliver the PD day, but then it kind of fizzles out. But I also know across the country, we have staff wellbeing leaders, we have people in charge of staff wellbeing, we have people really committed and passionate to this area, or we have people who have a combined staff and student wellbeing role, or maybe it is under your area as a leader of learning and teaching, whatever it might be. It's interwoven into so many different pieces that I think having one person in charge of it makes it quite a big thing to tackle, because it isn't just around, how we're feeling. It's also around productivity. It's around systems and processes. It's around where we're spending time or not using time well. It's around connections and relationships, all of the different pieces that make up who we are, how we work, how we feel, how we team with one another, the school's vision and strategic work that it's doing long term. It's everything. And so Swim actually came out of connecting with a number of school leaders who want to do the work but feel like they don't have the resources and they don't know where to start. And when I have these conversations, some are actually thinking they want to focus more on the personal area of wellbeing and thinking, how do we educate people around that? Where's the best place to start? Some might say, we really want to look at workload, but where do we start within that? How do we do that? What's a good way to do it? And so even though I've been delivering PD and leadership days and staff wellbeing workshops over the past few years, I do have a range of resources that I draw upon myself, and in Swim, I give them to you. In Swim, I give you just about everything I use. Anything new I create eventually will end up in Swim. Any resource that I've used, it's in Swim. And it's a library of activities. It's a library of plug and play staff meetings and workshops you can run. It's a library of professional and personal development that, as a staff wellbeing coordinator, staff wellbeing leader, staff wellbeing committee, you can have access to, so you can drip feed it to your wonderful people over the year. Because as much as I love running PD days, let's be honest, they are not the answer to solving anything. It has to be more continuous. It has to be more ingrained. It has to be more embedded in our approach. So Swim's actually the thing that helps change the way schools support staff wellbeing, because it's consistent resources you get access to all of the time. And if you're a school leader or wellbeing coordinator, someone passionate about it in the workplace, I think this is what you need. This is absolutely for you. Now, every school I work with has someone passionate about it, I know. But what I do hear, as I mentioned over and over, is we don't know where to start. We've started, it's not consistent. We're doing lots of things. We're not sure if it's making a difference. And I think this is where I want you to lean on Swim and know it's there to guide you, because it's definitely not a one-off PD. It's not a one-off motivational talk or a really cool TED talk or YouTube clip you can play. It's a complete approach to helping you transform staff wellbeing through looking at the support systems you have in place so you can embed it into everything you do: strategy, process, meeting, data, leadership, all of the things. And I actually think when it comes to staff wellbeing, schools that do it well are schools that focus on it in small pieces frequently. Yes, we love a PD day, but that one big event is certainly not sustainable. So when I put swim together, we have changed it a little bit from 2025 to what it will look like end of 2025 to 2026. And that's simply just because I want to make it better. So let me give you the breakdown. First of all, every school that joins gets a term for onboarding. Now, one of the reasons we do this is because we know, yes, schools are busy places, and in the onboarding phase, we want you to feel like you have planned how you're going to use it. We don't throw you in and say, there you go, you're off and running, use it as you need, and come back to us if you get stuck. We plan your implementation with you. So you get a 30-minute strategy call. Tell us what's going on. Tell us what you'd like to do. What time do you have available? Are you thinking a couple of staff meetings a term? Are you thinking of using it in team meetings? What do you want to focus on? And then we show you the back end of swim, how it works, and start to guide you and build and design a bit of a map that's going to then support you for 12 months. Now, in that initial onboarding first term, that's not the 12 months. That's like your bonus term, your bonus onboarding term. Your 12 months for using it with staff starts after that. I mean, earlier if you're organized, but we give you a whole term to get organized and to plan it and to put it on your calendar and to set it up and to go through the resources and to think about how you might use it before we give you that 12 months of implementation. The other thing that's really cool about swim is every person in your school environment, on your school staff, can have access to our Elevate course, which is a course designed around building personal responsibility, personal capability, around building emotional health, energy and function, resilience at an individual level. They don't have to do it, but they absolutely can do it if they want. And it is the small pieces that allow them to build that momentum again, ongoing, to support last wellbeing. In there, we also have leadership courses. So if you are a leader or you're wanting to know how to lead people in this space better, we've got a whole range of leadership modules, mini podcast clips that you can sit down and listen to, look at, learn about, immerse yourself in. And they really are designed to help you lead staff wellbeing. We also take you through a number of plug and play workshops, that you can use in staff meetings, that you can use in team sessions. There's worksheets you can download, there's activities you can do, there's pre-recorded videos. I want you to think of it a bit like Twinkle alongside YouTube clips that we found for you. I mean, I've made the clips that go together. So it's a little bit like Twinkle in terms of here are the resources, but also here's some videos to watch, and you can use it how you like. Now, let's say you're using it, you're on track, and then you think, gosh, it'd be really great to capture some staff voice data here to know how best to use the resources. We've got that in there. We've got a process for how to collect staff voice. It's in one of our modules around building your staff wellbeing framework. It's our beneath the surface process. You're free to use something like that. We are also going to be adding over the next 6 months different questionnaires you can take to staff, other videos you can play them about swim to say, what would you like to do? A summary of what's in swim, so you can ask them, which things really stand out. We also, though, let's say you get stuck, right? And you're like, I don't know what to do, or I've got a question, or I want to do this. We have mentoring sessions a couple of times a term, 2 or 3, usually 3, to be honest. I show up. You can pretty much ask me any question you like to do with this work. You're not left on your own to do this. And sometimes it's just about bouncing around different ideas. Sometimes it's asking, do you have a resource for XYZ? And, I don't always have resources that people are asking for, but if I can, I make them. So earlier this year, we had someone ask for a specific resource around building a staff wellbeing framework. And I'm like, yep, it's on the list. I will put that at the top and get that done. And so that's what we've been doing. We've been building a whole process to show you how to create your own staff wellbeing framework that's based on what I would do with the schools that I work with one-on-one. So I really have designed this, I think, because I was tired of kind of seeing staff wellbeing be left to one person to drive or be an afterthought, or, think that we can just put on morning teas and mindfulness sessions and yoga classes and that's enough. It's actually not. There's so much hidden work that goes on. And if you are leading it, it's sometimes hard to know what to do. And Swim was designed to be something different, that's built around the real needs of educators and schools. It's strategic, it's supportive, it's sustainable. It gives you the tools and permission to really simplify and do things differently. It helps you lead well without feeling like, there's just so much to do and I don't even know where to start, because we give you that. It helps you, if you're a staff wellbeing committee, to clarify the path that you might be on, and again, provide you with those resources. We show you different ways to capture staff voice, and it allows for momentum over time rather than trying to squeeze it all into, a couple of weeks. So if you're a school that wants to do more than just talk about staff wellbeing, if you're a leader that wants to embed a strategy around this, if you're a wellbeing coordinator who doesn't want to just reinvent the wheel or get stuck on YouTube trying to find the right video, if you're a school that wants to connect wellbeing with school improvement and not have it separate, whether you're a small school or a large school, an independent school, a high school, a primary school, a secondary school, it is in there to support your context. Now, I also want to say that a lot of you are probably thinking, this must be out of reach, it's probably going to be a huge investment, but swim, as I mentioned, is designed to be really, really accessible. And so for that reason, it is priced at $4,990 plus GST for the entire 16 months. So it's less than a PD day would cost you. If you break that down across weeks over those 16 terms, you're at about 50 weeks. So it's like $100 a week, but it's for every single staff member to get access to their own course, plus all of the things you can drive in your school, and access to me a couple of times a term as well. We also have a community. So all of our modules are housed in a community. There's a chat in there. You can pop questions in there and I get back to you within 2 to 3 working days. You can upload resources in there for feedback. You get as much out of it as you put in. I love this work, but I want to make it more accessible for you to be able to have access to as you go about the busyness of being an educator or a leader or whatever role it is, because I think if we can do this in small pieces in an ongoing way, we're actually going to embed wellbeing, and we're not just going to have it as an afterthought or a nice to have. So if you've been thinking, we care about staff wellbeing, but we need a plan, swim's your next step, right? If you've been thinking we want to do something for staff wellbeing, but we just don't know how, swim is the next step. If you've been thinking, gosh, there's so much out there, I'm overwhelmed by resources and I'd really like to drive this in-house, swim is your next step. So this doesn't have to be completely overwhelming. It doesn't have to be challenging. It doesn't have to be expensive, but it does need to have time set aside for it. And I know how hard it is to organize PD days. Some budgets don't stretch that far, and a one-off isn't enough. So I want to give you everything you can so you can plan your own staff wellbeing strategy across a 12-month period to really get that embedded change. It's been lovely chatting. As always, if you need anything else, please let me know. Otherwise, have a wonderful day, night, evening, morning, whatever time of day it is for you. And I'll see you somewhere soon. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. I really do hope you have enjoyed it. The information discussed today was just that, information only. It's not specific advice. If you take action following something you heard today, it's important to make sure that you get professional advice about your unique situation before you proceed, whether that advice be legal, financial, accounting, medical, or otherwise. Please reach out to me if you have any questions, or if there's anything else I can do to support your own wellbeing and wellness journey, whether it's another topic you'd like me to discuss, or whether it's support in your school, workplace, or individually. And if you do know someone who might benefit from listening to this, please remember to tell them about it, share the episode with them, or suggest my Instagram, my website, or LinkedIn, where they can find out more about me and what I do. And as always, I will see you in the next episode.